What's up, guys? So today is going to be interesting. This is going to be kind of two video blogs at the same time, but they're really interrelated. So this is part 3 of my Coping with Success series, and it's actually going to be called Coping with Success, Becoming a Success. Because what I'm going to try to express is that honestly, becoming a success is part of managing success. Like, coping with success is all about managing, maintaining success. And one of the most important things you can do is continue to utilize the principles that got you there. And that's kind of obvious, but, things can sometimes demotivate us. And what I want to focus on is the things that get us to success, because they're the same things. Just like I touched on in my last video, do what a successful person would do. They're the same things that are going to keep us successful. But I think that what can demotivate us from success in poker is kind of the fact that when we play poker, if we're playing our best game, we kind of have to play like a robot. We have to play without emotion. But at the same time, we're looking at other people's emotions, but thinking without emotion ourselves, which is kind of dehumanizing. For instance, when somebody else, we think somebody's tilted about losing a big pot, we're not getting excited. Rather, we are looking at them and adjusting their range based on what we think how differently we think they'll play when they're tilted, like how their range is going to change because they're upset, and then how likely it is that they are changing their range because they're upset. And, we're looking at someone else's emotional reaction with no emotion, just like a computer. And this is great in poker. This is how you should play poker, in my opinion. And, if you're playing against someone who also, tries to play that way, it's not a great matchup because, unless they just have mathematical leaks, because, you want to play against people who have these kind of leaks, And this blog is also kind of like the Drunk Life funeral party. I'm wearing black. It's actually the shirt I made my very first Drunk Life video blog in. And, this is kind of the end, but it's not really a death. It's sort of like a celebration of life for me because, they say that it's actually going to be my birthday at midnight, but they say that everyone, lives, they have 2 birthdays. They have the day they die, they have the day they're born and the day they figure out why. And for me, I honestly feel like that day was today. I've had this tattoo for a while that says, live inspired, die for something, live on fire, burn out brighter. And it was kind of like my little note to myself to remember to make sure that my life meant something. And the thing is, there's really no time to do that but now. Maybe it's just getting older that I'm starting to realize that, but there really is no day but today. There's not always more time. They say that what surprised the Buddha about man is that he acts immortal in all that he fears, but immortal in everything that he desires. Meaning that we act, like our fears can hurt us, we worry, but then the things we actually want, we think we have forever to go for them. And that's the thing we should be worried about, is the fact the only thing certainty is that we don't have forever to go for the things we want. Everything else might not happen, but death is gonna happen. That's the, death and taxes, right? They're the only certainties in life. So, you can choose to evade your taxes. I don't recommend it, but you can't choose to evade death. So, this is the one certainty. And, as that song that my tattoo is from ends, it says, the more I live, I see this life is not about me. And that was really meaningful to me too, because that's kind of what I've always wanted to do, was to help other people. But I always held myself back from doing that because I was worried about things. I let worry hold me back from deciding to go on that path. Because what if someone tries to say what I'm offering isn't good? What if someone criticizes? What if someone calls me a hack, says that I have no business telling anyone anything? You know what? Fuck that person. Why would someone else's opinion matter in between an exchange of information between 2 other people? So I'm not going to go out there and try to tell anyone that I know something they need to know. I'm not going to mark myself that way because it makes me uncomfortable, as I touched on my last blog. What I'm going to do is present what I know and then let people make their own decisions about whether or not they think I can help them. So that's kind of what I'm working on. I have a name in mind, but I'm going to make sure I'm sure about it, but I just want to like snatch up all the details, the different accounts and stuff before I go public with the name I'm thinking of. But it could change, who knows, like life will change, and I'm sure what I vision now is going to change a lot. But the one thing I'm not going to do is, as I thought I was going to run 2 separate blogs, and I made a video earlier that I'm going to keep up because I told a really cool story about how I got started in poker. But the thing about like the Life EV, it's funny, procrastination can totally fuck you. And procrastination and not being organized. Because like I had that domain, Life EV, but I didn't do anything with it. So I didn't realize I had it checked to expire. It only costs $10 a year to renew it. And it expired and it got bought by some Chinese company. So it just says like, some company owns this domain now. I don't have it anymore. So I emailed them to ask how much the asking price is, but I'm sure it's like over $1,000. And I don't think it's the sweetest name ever anyway. If I really want to make a blog about specific life skills for poker players that don't involve poker, I mean, I'll do that and I'll think of a name for that. But I'm not sure that's even something I want to do, because really there's only so much time in life and I want to reach the widest group of people. So I want to design my site and my coaching and everything that I want to do, everything that I want to put out there to the world in a way that it's accessible to everyone, not just poker players. But I'll always be really good at dealing with poker players, in my opinion, because I am one. And even if I'm not one day, I was one. So I hope that many, some, maybe none, maybe all of my clients will be poker players. But I'm not going to put my information in a way that's only digestible to them, because I want to be able to help people who aren't poker players too. So I've decided, and also it's really hard to build 2 things at once. And I'm already going to have to balance like playing poker and this project on the side. So I'm just going to do all my like life coaching, ambition stuff and motivation and helping people in one thing. And also the big key point, like I said, is I'm just going to present my information and what I can offer. And then I want people to choose if they think I can accelerate their learning. Because, one of the things that makes sense when we ask for coaching, like when I sell PLO coaching, what is somebody saying? They're saying either I don't know how to learn this on my own, or I think I can learn it faster if you help me. Give me the keys to the castle. And that's the same thing I'm going to do, It's just like buying a subscription to a coaching site, which would be ironic if I end up having a subscription model on whatever life skills I'm trying to share with people, because, I got my start in poker from poker coaching sites, which I didn't know existed. But basically someone else was saying, we have information and we'll sell it to you. And I was saying, I want your information. They didn't force it down my throat. I found it. I was looking for it. And I knew I wanted to learn this stuff. So, that's kind of how my business is going to work. It's like people will search the internet for what they're looking for. And if they find my site and they find the things that I think I know about and they want to learn it from me, cool, they will. And if not, I'm not going to be shoving it down anyone's throat. So I kind of got over this worry about what other people might think if I'm trying to coach people. Because whenever I see, it's just like the way people market themselves, like, oh, I'm a life coach. They seem like a super douche, But I'm just not going to be a super douche. And if someone can't see that, that's their problem. It's funny because it's like, I'm always like, what if somebody says this? What if somebody says this? What if somebody says this? And I realized, and this quote, this is not a quote. This is something from me. This came to me this morning. I thought to myself, what and if, in conjunction with each other, are the 2 most useless words in the English language? And, I was just thinking, seriously, fuck doubt. There's so many, tell me what man can add another minute to his life with worrying, except said more eloquently than that. Worrying about stuff is probably never as important, worrying about things that can go wrong, as it would be to worry about the fact that you're going to die and you're not doing the things that you want to go right. I mean, that's the only certainty. You can worry about, what if a plane crashes? What if I get in a car accident? What if I get sick? You can worry about that, but you can't do anything about it. You can't prevent it, and it might not happen. You might have wasted a lot of energy worrying about something that wasn't going to happen. But you need to worry about the fact that you got stuff you want to do, and death is going to happen. We don't know when, but it will. We don't know how, but it will. And that's the worry, and that's the action plan you should take in response, is working on the stuff you do want to do. And I'm not saying don't ever be prepared, but you need to meter your preparation for certain things based on how likely they are to happen. So you should know equities, because if you're a poker player, you're likely to need to know that information to make a correct call or fold. So that's something you should spend time thinking about because it's likely to happen. Just like you should spend a lot of time making sure you're doing the things you want to do with your life because you are going to die. But you shouldn't spend too much time worrying about what's going to happen on something that's very unlikely to happen. And this just makes good sense. So what I kind of developed as I was thinking is anytime I think, what if, I'm going to kind of counter myself and say, no doubt, you know? Because what if is the beginning of a doubt. It's the beginning of a worry. It's the beginning of a fear. That's why it's useless wordage, you know? Because the only things worth being kind of afraid of are, really not much. I don't know if I can think of one right now. I don't want to say nothing, but we have instincts, and that's what we rely on to be successful, to like, the faith that you can handle whatever's going to come up in life is so much more important than any singular thing you could be prepared for. Just having that faith in yourself that like, I'm going to take it as it comes, I will be able to handle it. Like life, I'm capable for life, that confidence is worth so much more than any one particular preparation you can make. So when I think, what if, I'm going to think no doubt. And then I'm going to think don't speak, because that's a no doubt song. So when I start to think what if, I'm going to counter myself, no doubt. And then I'm going to remember not to speak. And I'm not going to say what if anymore, because it's bullshit and it's holding me back. And that's something that I hope will propel me to success. And I wonder how much it's impacted my success this far, but that's not going to get me anywhere worrying about that. So I'm focused ahead on the future and how far I can get without these kind of worries. So let's see, what do I get to next? I think we get demotivated in poker when we're winning sometimes because we're worried that success is going to go away. Like we're doing well, but we remember what it's like to be not doing well, and we don't want to go back to that place. But one thing you have to realize is in order to feel safe, the safest you're ever going to feel is the day you admit to yourself, you're never going to be safe. There is no certainty in life except for, death, the one we've been over. Everything else can happen. Death will happen. And that's just it. And the moment you accept that and start living in alignment with that, living with that purpose in mind, you're going to be a lot happier and you're actually going to feel safer, because what makes you feel unsafe isn't the fact that something bad can happen. It's all the friggin' time you spend thinking about that thing that's bad that could happen. And that's what makes you feel unsafe. It's the worrying, it's the insecurity. The worry that something bad could happen is what makes you feel unsafe, not the likelihood. Because most of the bad outcomes that people worry about are quite statistically unlikely. So we really do need to meter our preparation for things to how likely they are to happen. And I think you do a better job trying to hone your instincts and figure out where you might have gone wrong or what happened in your life to adjust your instincts that now they're not in a good way. We need to know to run from a tiger, but we knew that. We need to make fight, flight, or freeze response decisions. And that's why anxiety exists, is to force you to make a decision. But when we start getting anxiety with no decision, something's gone wrong. And if we can look and find where that went wrong in our life, then we can kind of take that time back. And the thing is, there's not room in life for hard work, a fun life, and a shitload of worry. There's room for two. And the thing is, I choose life. And I recommend it, The path to getting to success, which, this video is supposed to be discussing, it's not going to be glamorous. Like, if I'm embarking on a new website and a new blogging thing, I don't expect it to be all sunshine, rainbows, and kittens. It's going to be hard work. It's set some goals, tell a couple friends, keep mostly quiet about it, smash the shit out of them, and clap for yourself, And that's how it is. A lot of people, success eludes them because they keep looking for the cheat codes, the secret formula. But there is no secret formula. Like, there's hard work. And yes, you do want to be smart. If somebody else already knows your hard work, knows like the hard work that you have to do, they've already done, and they can teach it to you quicker, then yes, you should try to get the information from that person. And if it's free, take it for free. If you have to pay for it, pay for it. If it makes you better. But the path is hard work. And the only thing you're doing is taking shortcuts, but you're not filling that with more hard work to keep getting to where you want to go. And in fact, finding the people who can help you can be hard work in itself. So there's no, a lot of people, I think it eludes them because they're looking for the magic formula. But the magic formula is just hard work and a little bit of foresight. and like direction. And that's kind of what I hope that I can offer to people, and I guess I'm going to find out. And I feel confident that I can, and I'm excited about it. There's another quote actually on my wall that kind of is funny because I didn't write it. I wrote "Can't wait, spend our lives waiting to live," which is a Rise Against lyric. But someone of my friends, I don't know who, has erased live and put eat. So now it says "Can't spend our lives waiting to eat." And I think that's funny because it's true. We obviously would die if we didn't eat, right? But it's part of like what is stressful about being a poker player is that we know that we have to eat, So when you're gambling for a living and there's variance and you might not have money coming in, but you know you need money to eat and live, if you're not being supported by anyone but yourself, it is fucking frightening. And that is why I think as I'm getting older, I'm realizing like I need something. And I see it at all the levels, like even the top high stakes players. I mean, money is either getting, like if you're not playing poker, you're losing money because you're spending it. There's no way to live for free on this earth. So you're like, money is going to be going down anytime you're not finding a way to make it go up. And if the only way you have to make it go up is more poker, then you're always kind of at a risk that it could start going down. And unless you have enough to just live off it forever, you can't really walk away, can you? And if you haven't walked away, then you might end up with further from enough to live off it forever. So I'm finding that I want something else. And it's not a surprise. I mean, I kind of always knew I was going to do something after poker, but I never knew exactly what and exactly when I would start. But I mean, like I said, no day but today. So I'm not quitting poker. I mean, I might, but I don't plan to right now. But I'm definitely going to actually put some work into the things that I want to be doing because I don't have forever. And that's kind of my promise to myself this year. But I don't really want to overpromise and underdeliver. So I'm going to have to make sure I go above and beyond what I'm putting out there now. Because otherwise I'm going to feel like an asshole. And, I've figured out my format. Like I said, I'm not going to do the Life EV thing. I'm going to do it's funny, because I always read MMA Junkie and all their stories are like the news story and it's concise, and then the video at the top if you want to watch the interview. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make my video blogs, and then they're kind of like the stream of consciousness, like what I'm thinking about an issue based on like notes I've taken and what I walk around the living room rehearsing out loud. But then I'm going to write afterward, because some people, like if you're on a subway, you're just not going to read something, or you're not going to watch a video if you don't have headphones, And some people don't want to watch a video. You might not want to see my smiling face, but maybe you want to read what I said. So it'll also help me be concise, because I know I get to say a lot in these video blogs. So then when I'm writing, it'll be less time consuming, because the writing process can be painful, even though I feel like I'm good at it and I enjoy it. Well, I enjoy my work, but I don't really enjoy the writing of it. But the less there is to write, because I get to have this kind of conversation, is cool. And also, I don't have to worry too much about just starting the conversation, because anything I forget to say, I can write. So I think it's going to work for me, and it's kind of funny. I'm admitting I'm just lifting it from MMA Junkie, and I love that site. And also, I'm trying to solidify my choice with massive action, because that's something else you have to do. If you want to build success, you have to actually take action. You can't sit there and worry about what can go wrong. Don't ask yourself what if. If you want to ask yourself a question, ask yourself what happened to your instincts that has you asking what if about something that's unlikely. Where did your keen instincts get adulterated and damaged? And ask yourself that, and if you can find the answer to that and fix it, then you can go forward without the what ifs. So if you want to ask yourself a question, look inside and figure out what's gone wrong that I have to be asking myself these questions. Because we weren't meant to sit home and worry. We were meant to live. That's it. All humans, all organisms, we're here to live. We're not here to worry. I mean, worry is it's passive death. It's like pretending it's like live things once when they happen, And that's it. Prepare for likely outcomes, not the unlikely. Focus on what's important, hard work. And if you want a shortcut, look for someone who's done what you're trying to do and learn from them. And don't take it easy. Take that time and invest it somewhere else, because there's a lot to get to where you want, because hopefully you have lofty goals. And the last thing is kind of make your goals reality by burning your bridge or burning your boat. A goal becomes reality when you take action on it. And generally, if you want to take action on something, don't give yourself a choice. Make the choice and make it firmly. Make it with a way that you can't really go back. So I'm not quite sure what that's going to be. I'm not going to stand here and say I'm quitting poker because I don't really want to. I still like poker. But, I've put out 40 minutes of video blogs today saying I'm going to start a website where I'm going to do coaching, and I'm going to have videos and have blogs, and I'm going to offer coaching to people, and I'm going to find a non-pretentious way to show my information to the world and let people decide if they want to learn from me and at what level, obviously there'll be free content, obviously there'll be paid content, there'll be personal coaching, and this is just like what I've always seen for myself. So I'm going to start doing it, and I'm not going to worry about if I get hated on, and I'm just going to have my integrity, live with my values, and I'm going to get to work. So I don't know if I've found the way to burn my boat yet, but I'm sure I will, and I'm excited about what I'm going to do next. And I hope that me kind of telling you guys what I'm reminding myself now as I embark on kind of a new journey that I want to be successful at will be useful to you guys. And the reason I've said that quote, the more I live, the more I see life is not about me, was important, is because I'm not doing this for me. I don't mind if I have to grind. I don't mind if I have to worry about my next meal, but I don't want that for my family. I don't want that if I have kids one day. I don't want that for my wife. And I can do it. I can suck it up. I believe in myself. I can get staked if I'm ever losing. I don't mind playing poker forever, but at some point it'd be good not to have to. And I'd like to be able to play poker. Would be a lot more fun when I'm always choosing to play. But when you have that pressure that if I stop playing, my skills are getting worse, my money's getting spent, and at some point I'm going to find myself with less money and worse at poker, and the games will be tougher, and I'll be screwed. And then I'll have to start all the way at the bottom again and bust my ass to get to a place where I feel comfortable and safe, I can eat. That's not something I want forever. And that's why we can't spend our lives waiting to eat. We gotta eat now. So this is me trying to eat, trying to make something that will support me in as safe as you can be. But like I said, the safest you're ever gonna feel is when you understand you're never gonna be safe. The internet could get shut down by ISIS. Who knows? It's unlikely, so we shouldn't spend a lot of time worrying about it because it's probably not going to happen. But anything can. Death will, and we know that, and we should live knowing that. But everything else just merely could. But because it could, we're never going to be truly safe. The only thing we can do is stop freaking worrying about that and feel a whole hell of a lot safer. So these are the things in my mind as I embark on this new kind of journey I've set for myself. And I really hope that they're helpful to you guys and can help you guys be successful in your own journeys. And, I hope you'll follow me on the new site. I hope you'll reach out if you need some help. And I hope you've enjoyed The Drunk Life, because I sure have. But tonight is the end of The Drunk Life and the beginning of, I don't know, but we're going to find out, and I'm excited about it. So thanks, guys. Thanks for watching as always. And yeah, to the next step, American Pie style. Peace out.